Welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. If you would just like to introduce yourself in the chat, please put your name, where you're joining us from, and one thing you're excited for your student to experience here at Temple. Just put it right in the chat. As more folks are joining us, if you just want to introduce yourself in the chat, just put your name, where you're joining us from, and one thing you're excited for your student to experience here at Temple. We'd love to know who's joining us today. Wow, the Netherlands, welcome. Going international, very nice. PA, nice. Shout out Jersey, Albania, Dubai. Wow, very nice. Again, as more folks are joining us, if you just want to put your name, where you're joining us from, and one thing you're excited for your student to experience here at Temple, put it right in the chat. A lot of East Coast folks, very nice. Arizona, good morning. Again, as more folks are joining us, if you just want to put your name, where you're joining us from, and one thing you're excited for your student to experience here at Temple, put it right in the chat. A lot of local folks, welcome. Happy you're here. Someone from Philly, that's where I'm at, very nice. Okay, hello and welcome to the Parent and Family Orientation Ask an L, Ask the Experts webinar. My name is Olivia and I am the summer graduate intern here for the Office of New Student and Family Programs here at Temple. We are so glad that you decided to join us today. We would love to know more about everyone who is joining us. So please continue to introduce yourselves in the chat. Include your name and where you're from so we know who is joining us. We have enabled closed captioning for this session. To view the captions, please click Captions, then select Show Captions. This session will be recorded and the link will be shared after today on the Parent and Family Orientation Hub. Today's panelists are current Temple students who are also orientation team leaders, or OTLs. This amazing group of student leaders assists both new students and families of new students with getting acclimated to college life. Following their brief presentation, we will have a Q&A session for the remainder of our time together, so get your questions ready. We will get started with our presentations and Q&A in a moment, but there are a few announcements to share first. You have likely noticed your audio and video are muted. You can see and hear us, but we cannot see and hear you. So please submit your questions by using the Q&A feature. To do so, just click the Q&A button to open the window. Then type your question into the text field. If you want your question to be anonymous, check the Send Anonymously checkbox, then click Send. Your question will not be viewable to the rest of the participants until it has been answered. We will share helpful links related to the questions that have been asked in the chat, so make sure to check the chat throughout the panel. We'll do our very best to answer as many questions as we can today. If we're unable to answer all of the questions, we'll provide contact information at the end for you to follow up with the appropriate campus partner for your specific question. If you have questions related to student involvement or health and well-being, do not worry, as we will provide their session dates at the end of our webinar. Be sure to go to the Parent and Family Experience portal to see the webinar recordings of previous parent and family orientation webinars. Okay, we're ready for our orientation team leaders, or OTLs, to introduce themselves to you. Anna, you're up first.
Hi, my name is Anna. I am a sophomore film major. I come from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. And I use she, her pronouns. Um, I guess I'll pass it off to Gabe.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabe. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm a senior biology major from Mechanicsburg, PA. I'll pass it off to Cora.
Hi everyone, my name is Cora. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a senior economics major with minors in computer science and psychology. And I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Shardul, you can go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shardul. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a sophomore neuroscience major, and I'm from Lansdale, PA. And I'd pass it on to OTL Aaron.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a sophomore electrical and computer engineering major from Brooklyn, New York. And lastly, I'll pass it off to Mox.
Hey everybody, my name is Max. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a junior marketing major from Russia.
I will take a moment to talk to you all about the OWL team, what we are, what we do. Right, so OWL team leaders are essentially the students on campus who, over the summer, give tours to all of the new students, preparing them for their time at Temple University, showing off the various features of the campus. This is both virtual as we are now and in person. We like to support and guide the students onto campus, providing many resources that they would not get otherwise in any other location. Providing them an in-person connective, like a way to connect them to campus better than they might otherwise, because we are also students. And as for myself and for most of us, we're sophomores or juniors, so we're going to be on campus with them for a significant amount of their time on campus. Yeah, we work directly with university faculty to give the best experience. And we will also be working the Weeks of Welcome events at the start of the year. So the first couple weeks on campus, when your student arrives, but before classes formally start, Weeks of Welcome is a series of events happening on campus that are meant to prepare students for life on campus in a new area that they might not otherwise be ready for. And our job then is to continue guiding and to continue preparing to give an ease of transition. So that's generally our role. Yeah. Did I miss anything? I think that was pretty good.
Great, thank you, Anna. Okay, it is time for our panelists to answer your questions. Please post any questions you have in the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen where you see a question mark. Okay, our first question. Do you go home often, or does your family visit you here at Temple?
I can start with answering that. Now that I'm a senior, I go home pretty much only for breaks, and my parents visit me once or twice a semester, I'd say. Freshman year, they came a lot more, just to make sure I wasn't getting too homesick. I remember I went home for the first 3-day weekend. Like as soon as there was an opportunity, I went home, but I wasn't going home every weekend because I live in New York. There are people I knew who lived closer to campus they were going home every weekend because they were able to, but I would highly recommend people don't go home that often, because the weekend is a great time to just like bond and make friends, hang out with people.
I'll add on to that. I'm also from Brooklyn, New York, so for me personally, just finished my freshman year. I used to go home, I'm pretty sure like at least once a month. Um, whether that be to visit family or see friends and things like that. I always found myself always going back to the city. Um, some ways that I got back there, you can use either Amtrak or Greyhound. Those are like very like two good resources that I used a lot, and the tickets aren't too expensive. Um, but again, like what Cora said, I would encourage at least the students to not go home as much as I did at least. So you take more time to enjoy campus, get to know more people, connect, use the resources on campus. And yeah.
Thank you. Also, just to add on to that, I know Aaron recommended the Greyhound and the Amtrak as a resource for going back, but I only live 40 minutes by train ride from campus, so I would take the SEPTA Regional Rail back usually, and I would go home every 2 weeks to once a month. I thought that was good enough to not be too homesick and still enjoy my time at Temple.
Yeah, it's similar to what other OTL said. I know there's some people from like other countries, other continents. As for me, I went home last summer to visit my family back in Russia. This summer, I'm staying in America. So I haven't seen my family in a year, but this tradition for me, I talk to them almost every single day. I call them, I text them, we FaceTime. So like, your team will be fine, and just make sure to always keep in touch.
Okay, great. Our next question. Do any of you have a bike on campus? Is it useful to have one?
Um, I guess I'll start off. I don't personally have a bike. What you will see well, okay, we have bikes that you can rent on campus. It's like city bikes, like the Philadelphia city bikes. Um, but if you do not have a bike, you can also use like a scooter. You'll see like a lot of people riding on scooters around campus. That's a very good way to get around. But yeah, here and there you'll see people on bikes, skateboards, um, yeah, just things like that.
Yeah, and additionally, some of the residence halls here, we also have bike rooms. So for storage purposes, you can keep your bikes there. And in some of the buildings around on campus, there are bike racks. So, you can put your bike there and have a bike lock on it so nobody steals it.
Transportation like on campus. I definitely knew I knew a couple people who had bikes. I knew a lot of people who had skateboards on campus. That is very, very common. So certainly if your student might want to, it's not a requirement. There are tons of public transportation options for both on campus and in the wider city. But if your student wants to have a bike with them, that is, yeah, I would say, yeah, that's very achievable, very, very easily achievable on campus.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next question. How can students apply for the peer-to-peer mentoring program? And do you know how it works?
Can you repeat the question? Your mic is a little low, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah. How can students apply for the peer-to-peer mentoring program and how does it work?
I'll take this one. So, as far as I know, peer-to-peer mentor program is a program where you will connect with one of the mentors who is probably international student themselves, and like they will help you during your first 8 weeks or your whole first semester. You have like meetings with them. They'll help you know the campus, temple, give you like all the important resources. for applying, I'm pretty sure you can Google Temple peer-to-peer mentor program, and they should have like their website or email. You can email them, or maybe you'll just find the application on the website.
Also, from what I know, I believe that students that are coming into the semester as freshmen, they might already get matched up with a peer-to-peer mentor as part of the mentor collective program that we have at Temple. So they don't really have to sign up for everything. They get matched up based off their major, you know, their academic interests and stuff. So they'll have at least one individual, one upperclassman to talk to.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next question. Have any of you studied abroad or have been to the Japan campus? If not, are any of you planning to study abroad?
I studied abroad last summer, not at the Japan campus though. I went to Temple Rome. It was a 6-week program with only 2 classes, but because it's during the summer, you do have to pay additional tuition because it's not covered by anything that's taking place during the year. But the study abroad office was very helpful. I just went to them, asked them any questions about it. They answered it and they helped me get all set up and everything.
I'm personally planning on studying abroad at the Japan campus next fall. Um, but yeah, in terms of like getting information about it, you could just, well, on campus, it's in Tuttleman, but there's a whole office on campus in the Tuttleman building that you could just ask any questions about, obviously. That's what I'm gonna do, especially for semester. I would recommend if your kid or if your student wants to study abroad while they're here at Temple, they should definitely, I would say at least go early before when they actually want to, just to give your student enough time to actually get everything set up and have enough time if something comes up like an obstacle, you could be better prepared to handle it. And yeah.
Great, thank you. Next question. How often do you all see or communicate with your academic advisor?
I can start. I'd say at least once a semester, usually prior to class registration, I'll meet with my advisor just to go over what classes I'm planning on taking the next semester and see if I'm still on track to graduate in 4 years. If I have specific questions throughout the semester, I'll usually go ask them. So I changed my major at the end of sophomore year from psychology to economics. And then I added 2 minors, psychology and computer science. So I met with them to make sure I could still do all 3 of those things and graduate within 4 years. So they sat down with me and helped me make a 4-year plan that maps out what classes I would take for my remaining semesters. So that's very helpful because now I know exactly what classes to sign up for my upcoming semesters. And that was very important because certain classes have prereqs, so you need to arrange it in a certain way that everything would actually fit within the 4 years.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that for the very first semester or 2 coming into college, I didn't really see my advisors that often, but keeping the general rule that Cora said, seeing them at least once a semester is a good way to make sure you're on track for graduation. As I went through my second year, my third year, going through college and everything, it started to get more serious in terms of being on track for graduation. And so I highly recommend being able to make those connections as early as possible so that when you enter like your last half of college, reaching out to advising would be a much easier process, and so that they would know like what you're going through and everything. I was also a student that switched their major halfway through college. I recommend all students just keeping an open mind as possible, because I was not expecting to switch my major halfway through college, and being able to work with my advisors and making sure that I still was able to graduate on time was definitely a nice way to make sure that nothing was delayed or postponed.
Yeah, for sure. And your advisors are here to help you as well. Next question. Do you use the shuttle or train service to the airport often? How safe is it for students to utilize that system?
I'll take this one. So under the train, you can take the separate train from the Temple station right to the airport station. You can even know like what terminal you're gonna arrive to. So like it's gonna be like right to the terminal at the airport. The tickets, I feel like it's either $7 or $9, and the ride itself is about 40 minutes or an hour. So this is a really great way to travel from the airport to Temple or from Temple to the airport.
Yeah, I want to add that I use the train system on campus like a lot for going home. I don't use the airport because I'm from Central PA, so it's not too far from home for me to be here. But in terms of using the train to get to like where I need to be, the regional rail station on campus brings me all the way to the Amtrak station on downtown in Philly. And so using the regional rail, I get to the Amtrak station, and from the Amtrak station, I use that train going back home. So it's pretty accessible, and I currently live in a building where it is right across from the station, so it's really easy to get to home for me.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next question. What kind of help is available on moving day? And can you explain the do's and don'ts of moving day? Okay, the next question. What kind of help is available on moving day? And can you explain the do's and don'ts of moving day?
I believe move-in day, well, move-in day depends per person. Like there isn't a specific day that everyone moves in. It's like between like the 18th and the 22nd or 24th or somewhere around there. I'm not 100% confident in those numbers, but it's around that week of August. That I guess that's obvious. I'm not 100% confident in those numbers, but it's around there. It depends on the specific student. In terms of do's and don'ts, move-in day is going to be very chaotic. No matter what dorm you're moving into, it's going to be very, very chaotic. There's going to be a lot of other cars full of other people who also are going to be moving in. And people are like staggered by time, like throughout the day, but it's not like one person per time slot. You know, there are going to be a lot of people moving in together. So, all that being said, just be careful, just be cautious with all of your belongings. Just be mindful about not losing track of anything, about always having someone with any given stuff. If you can always have someone like buy the car or buy the car you took there, that would be great. That would be a great thing to have. Also, I believe you are given a certain amount of time at like a parking space that's like right next to the dorm location. You have like a certain amount of time at that parking space. From what I understand, usually people are not able to move all like 100% of their belongings during that time. So like moving as fast as possible to get everything in within reason, of course, would be very helpful. Um, that's what comes to mind first. Making sure it goes efficiently so you can prepare for other parents showing up as well. That's everything that comes to mind immediately.
Also, I just want to add on for moving day, usually residence halls or even off-campus housing, they will provide you with a moving cart. So you don't have to keep walking to your car and then walking back. You can usually put most of the stuff that you got from your car into the cart, and then you can take the moving cart with you upstairs or wherever your room is, for convenience sake, and so you don't have to make multiple round trips. But for my moving day, I think I only needed to make 2 or 3 trips. So it wasn't too bad, but it can get chaotic if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, we like to say it's organized chaos because it's quick and efficient, but it's also chaotic at the same time. A follow-up for Gabe. You mentioned you're close to the train station. Which residence halls are close to the train station?
Yeah, so I currently live in off-campus housing. So, if you're talking about like on-campus housing or like any dorms or any residential halls on campus, a lot of them tend to be a little farther away from the train station. However, they shouldn't be more than a 10-minute walk away from the train station. So, the ones that are closest to the station, I believe it might be like Temple Towers. Temple Towers is one of the residence halls that is closest to the station. But a lot of the ones that are more close to the station, it's gonna be a little bit farther away than that, but it shouldn't be more than a 10-minute walk. So, but I currently live in off-campus housing.
Great, thank you. The next question, are there any safety challenges in a big city environment like Philadelphia? Can you share ways you stay safe?
I can start with this one. I think the most important thing is just making smart decisions. So like at night, don't walk around with headphones on, things like that. The main thing I try to do is just go places with my friends. So I typically just don't walk around alone at night. During the day, I feel perfectly safe walking around alone. But I feel like it's just like any other city, at night, you just want to be a little bit more cautious. Temple also has the Flight, which is like a bus shuttle that goes around campus, and it has certain like bus stops. And you can check the app to see where it is. So at any point, if you feel unsafe, you could wait at the closest stop and then get on that, and then it can bring you back to wherever you need to go.
Yeah, and just to elaborate, I have personal experience with the Flight. I've used it a couple times to go to an off-campus apartment for one of my friends, and I used it to go there, and then I used it to come back, and it was just very easy to use. All you need to tell them is that you're a Temple student. They ask for your ID, and yeah, it's pretty convenient, and it's also really safe, especially traveling at night. You don't want to walk, 15 minutes back by yourself, so you can use the Temple Flight.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question, what is the game day experience for football like? And is it easy to get to the games from campus?
I'll take this one. Me personally, I'm in the marching band, so we kind of have to get there a little earlier for football games. But from what I know, I'm pretty sure they have like a carpool system where if you are a Temple student, they will meet at a designated spot and everyone will drive there. So that's something I'm pretty sure it's either a bus or like someone has like a car that they'll take. Um, and yeah, if not, if you like perhaps like oversleep and you have to take something else, you can also just take the train there and just walk to the stadium. But yeah, Temple football games are free for Temple students, things like that. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, next question. Follow-up. Is the bus to the Lincoln Financial Field free?
Like the carpool? If it's like the carpool, then yes, it's free. If it's like the train or something like that, then obviously you have to pay because it's SEPTA service. But yeah, the carpooling bus is free.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question. Do any of you have a car on campus, and is this allowed freshman year?
I do not have a car on campus. Sorry, Aaron. But yes, it is allowed freshman year. There are like parking passes that you could buy, or you could just look for street parking. You just would have to gamble if you'll find street parking or not. But I'd say you definitely don't need a car on campus. You can if you want to. I only know a few people who have cars, and most of them are commuter students, so they have it because they're driving from home and back. Yeah, but I mean, with SEPTA, and I mean, you could always take a lift somewhere. It's very easy to get around the city.
Okay, next question. If academics start to feel a bit overwhelming, how do you get support?
One of the places that you could go to on campus is Tunnelman. They have like counseling services where you could talk to someone about if classes are a bit overwhelming, maybe you have too much on your plate, they could try to be there for you. And yeah, just talk you through everything.
Additionally, if you require academic support for some of your classes, you could check out the student center, the student success center that Temple has to offer, where they can, they can pair you up with a mentor, they can pair you up with a tutor, for most of your classes. Additionally, if you need help with, essay writing or any form of like a resume or like professional development, they can also assist you with that.
Yep. In addition to the Success Center, a lot of classes that students tend to take often have support built into the classes. So a lot of the classes alongside the professor will have a TA or a teaching assistant. And so they're there to make sure that students are all good to go, make sure they're absorbing the material right, especially when the professor is really busy trying to manage a class of over 200 students, even as big as that. So there's definitely ways that the student can find support whenever they can.
Great, thank you. Anna, you mentioned that you were in 1940 for your freshman year. What do you recommend for new students to bring that maybe we are not thinking about?
Things to bring that you're not thinking about. I can say that any kind of cooking supplies probably not necessary to bring. I say that simply because about 1940, like if you're living in a different dorm, that maybe that would be useful, but if you're moving into 1940, then I would definitely say that bringing cooking supplies or anything of that sort, while it might be nice to have in some specific contexts, there isn't like a kitchen type thing in your dorm, so it will probably not get very much use, if any at all. In terms of things that you aren't currently thinking about bringing that you might need to, nothing immediately comes to mind that I like desperately wished I had on campus that I didn't. Um, I don't know, maybe another owl team leader can help me out with something, but nothing that I like really would, nothing that I really would. I guess like Tupperware was pretty useful on campus. I had to go out and buy Tupperware. It was pretty cheap, so that wasn't a big deal, but I did like having Tupperware on campus to preserve food. That's the only thing that comes to mind though. If anyone has any other thoughts.
I can add on to that. I lived in 1300 in the Honors LLC my freshman year. So there's no kitchen there. And also no like dishwasher or anything. So one of the first thing me and my suite mates brought was a drying rack. We just like put a towel under it, got a plastic drying rack. That way it wasn't like taking up a lot of space. We also bought a shoe rack. That way our shoes weren't just all scattered in a mess right by the door. And then I'd recommend getting a shower caddy, because you're all sharing one shower. So ideally, all four of you, if it's four of you, don't have like all your shampoo and conditioner and soap sitting in the shower because it's not super big. So that's what we did. Each of us had a shower caddy, and then whenever we needed to shower, we'd bring our stuff to the bathroom and then bring it back to our room. And then just cleaning supplies. A lot of people forget to bring cleaning supplies. Very important. Yeah.
I know for myself, it was so helpful to have scissors. I feel like that's such a small thing, but you don't realize how much you need scissors until you don't have them. Okay, next question. How did you make new friends here at Temple, especially if you are a bit quiet?
Yeah, I can answer that. I'd say I'm pretty introverted myself too. But we do have this software called Alconnect, and it's a software that a lot of students use to find out how to get involved around campus and what's going on outside of classes. We have over 400 clubs and organizations that student can choose from, so there's something for everything. And I remember the very first few weeks of school, the first thing I wanted to do outside of classes was join clubs and being able to connect with students outside of the classroom. And so I found some of my very close friends, even to this day, through clubs and being able to just find them through like common interests, common academic goals, academic professional pursuit, common professional pursuits. It's a great way to just meet new people outside of classes.
I can add to that. I also consider myself more introverted, but freshman year, I made a point to try to put myself outside of that comfort zone in order to make friends. So I believe most of the residence halls, I know 1300 does, but every floor has like a lounge in 1300. So every day when I wasn't in class, instead of hanging out in my room, I would go to the lounge. And on the third floor, there was a pool table. So I would play pool with people. And people would bring like board games and card games. So I'd be up until like 3 a.m. on a school night, just hanging out with people playing games. And then even just sitting in the lounge doing my homework. So even if I'm doing something myself, at least I'm around people, getting to know them. And then other than that, I also went to this thing called Net Night. So if anyone has children interested in volleyball or badminton, every Friday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. in Pearson and McGonigal. They have net night, which is just 2 volleyball nets and a bunch of badminton nets set up, and it's open to any Temple student. You just need your ID to sign in. So I met all of my, well, I guess pretty much all my friends are people I met playing volleyball. And now I do intramurals with them. I'm the captain of my team. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to meet people. And you can be any skill level. So if your child is interested in starting to play volleyball or badminton, that's cool too.
I would add on to that as well. For me personally, I wasn't in a dorm my first year. I was off campus, so it was like a little more emphasis on getting outside to meet new people, like going out of my comfort zone. I met most of my friends on campus through either classrooms or like different things that I was taking part in on campus, such as like again marching band. Um, Again, at Pearson and McGonagall, they have things like Net Night where you can meet new people. They also have like intramural sports where you like if you like basketball, for example, there's a lot of games throughout the season. You could be a free agent, get drafted to a team, and you just meet a whole like team full of new people that you never knew before. And just like that, you've made new friends that you're gonna be playing basketball with for the next around like 2 months. So that's pretty cool. Um, and yeah, things like that. I would just encourage if you have like a child who's coming here at least to make sure that they're not just in their room all day and make sure to let them know to at least get outside, meet new people. Because connections is very important here. So definitely do that.
Also, just clarifying, but intramurals is separate from club sports. So you won't find intramurals on the Owl Connect website. You'll find it on this website called I Am Leagues. There's an app that you could get for it, but like Aaron said, you can, if you don't have a group to play with, you can sign up as a free agent, and then a group can like request to add you and everything.
Great, thank you. Next question. This question can be for anyone involved in groups or clubs, but Aaron, you mentioned being part of Temple Band. How do you balance your academic and social life while being a part of a group or club?
For me personally, I feel like when you first get on campus, it could be a little overwhelming because it's like different pace for classes. At least for me, since I'm an electrical engineer, the coursework was a little getting used to. But I would just say to pace yourself definitely, especially when you're first coming in. Take I would say take time to like meet with your professors, like definitely go to like their office hours, things like that outside of class. So you're like building a good, strong connection with your professors, so that if you have like a test or something and you need more time, they could like be more lenient with you and they'll know like at least you're trying in that class. Um, for me personally, especially being in the marching band, that takes up a lot of my time on top of academics. But at least on the weekends, like you do get a lot of free period to, you know, kind of like cool down. So I don't want to make it seem like, oh, you have no time for yourself. You definitely can find time for yourself. It could just be a little demanding here and there, but um that's to be expected from joining a club. So yeah.
Okay, next question. How do students navigate roommate disputes?
I guess it all really depends on the situation and like what's going on. But every on-campus dorm has an RA on every floor, and RA is a resident assistant, and so it's an upperclassman working with Temple staff and university housing and um like dorm staff, everything like that. They're there to bridge the gap between students and the professional staff who are working to make sure everything is going okay. So if there is a roommate dispute, there is a roommate success plan that a lot of residents will fill out with their RA, and so their RA will be their best point of contact for any dispute or any conflicts that might need to get resolved. But the RA will be there to make sure that everything is all good to go.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question. How does laundry work in the residence halls? And can you use laundry pods with the washers on campus?
I'll take this one. So yeah, every dorm has a washer and a dryer. They're $2 each, so it will be $2 for a washer, $2 for dryer. You can use cash, or it's much easier to use an app. It's called Speed Queen. You can choose your dorm and the washing machine that you want to use, and use both washer and the dryer. And yeah, you can use your pads. You can use the bleaching gel. It's up to you. So yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question. What is the maximum of classes you would recommend to a new student?
This is what a lot of advisor roles typically suggest to students, but it's anywhere between 4 to 6 classes. Four is the on average the minimum needed to be a full-time student, while 6 is the maximum. However, most advisors will typically say that the student should take anywhere between 4 to 5 classes. That equates to about 14 to 16 credit hours. And so following that general rule, that's like what a lot of advisors will typically suggest. But over time, students can be flexible in that they can change like how many credits they want to take at a time or simultaneously, and see what they can and can't handle in one continuous.
I'm just gonna add something real quick to that. There are gym classes that are 2 credits. So often what I'll do is if I'm at 16 credits and I just want like a fun class to add, I'll add a gym class. So my freshman year, I took pickleball, which was a lot of fun. And this coming semester, I'm taking tennis just to, fill that gap from 16 to 18. You don't have to. I do it just because I have the room to do it. And the gym classes aren't really much work. You pretty much just show up to the class and play the sport. And so I find it a good way to stay active and maybe learn a new sport that I don't know already. And I was a big like PE person back in high school and middle school. So I found myself missing that aspect of it. So I really enjoy taking those classes.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add that any student taking 12 to 18 credits will be charged the same tuition rate. So like what Cora mentioned, having the space to add like a gym class or anything, because she had the space to add that gym class for only 2 credits to get to that 18 credit maximum, she's still paying the same amount of tuition. So no extra fees that come with that.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question. Can you speak about getting mail and packages in the residence halls?
Oh, yeah, I'll take this one. So every residence hall or dorm, they have a mail room. So it doesn't matter where you order from, like Amazon, USPS, your package will come to the front desk and they will take it to the mail room. And once it's there, you will get an email from your residence hall saying, hey, we got your package. So you will just go downstairs to the front desk and they will give you a package. Or if it's a small package, like IKEA card or like a letter, you will have like your own like small little mailbox on the first floor of your dorm, and you can also just have your key open it and check your mail every day.
Also, if you wanted to send a postcard or a letter, there's usually there's like little boxes dedicated for it, so you don't have to walk all the way to USPS or UPS to do that.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question. Did you find that you stayed on campus most of the time, or did you explore other areas and events in and around Philadelphia?
I highly suggest exploring the city as much as possible. But as someone from outside of Philly, it definitely took me some time to get comfortable with my surroundings and being able to go outside of campus grounds more often. So in my first year, I definitely was outside, but not necessarily outside of campus a lot. I kind of had to take my time and being able to get comfortable with using public transportation, especially. But ever since my sophomore year, I've been going out in the city like pretty often, and as a current rising senior now, I'm in the city at least twice, maybe 3 times a week. So just I highly suggest students just taking the time to make sure that they feel comfortable in their space before they venture out. But I highly recommend like not limiting yourself to what's on campus, but be sure to explore the city.
Okay, next question. What items are important to have at your rooms?
I would say, hmm, uh, certainly some form of, well, I guess that's not even true. What is important to have in your rooms? Cleaning supplies was mentioned. Cleaning supplies is a very, very important thing to have in your rooms. Um, they'll like decent supply of clothes, bed related items, bed sheets, stuff like that. Um, coat hanger or not coat hanger. Just hangers, just in general. To hang up clothes. That's a important thing. Although there will be a dresser in there as well. The fridge and microwave combination. I don't know if that was already talked about. I don't think it was, but if it was, then yeah, the fridge and microwave combination. So that is a thing that if you did not already know, can you still order them? Is it too late at this point? Can you still order them? I don't know how that. I don't know the time frame on that, but assuming you can order a rental fridge and microwave for the dorm room, and that is a very useful thing to have on campus to store food and to prepare food in basic ways. Bathroom like things like a plunger, other bathroom cleaning supplies that might not immediately come to mind. that's everything that I got immediately.
Another thing that you could also have in your room, definitely a garbage bin. That's very important. Um, some people recommend shower shoes, um, just to be extra precautious, in the showers. And I think that's about it.
I'd also recommend headphones. That way, if you want to watch like Netflix late at night or something, but your roommate wants to go to sleep early or needs to study, that way you're not bothering them. And then just like some hobby or something that you could have. I like Legos a lot, so I'll always have a Lego set with me in whatever dorm I'm staying in. Yeah.
Hey, great, thank you. Next question. How do you feel about virtual versus in-person classes?
I could, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, for me personally, I feel like I just genuinely learn better in person. So when it comes to in virtual, I feel like I wouldn't really be paying that much attention. So for your student, like it also depends on how best they learn, but I would personally recommend in person. I feel like it's more interactive, especially since the professor is right there. And then you also have like what Gabe said before, you have little teacher assistants to come and help you and make sure you know the material right then there in person. And also you can go to office hours in person. It just feels way better, more interactive. So yeah, I'll definitely recommend in person. Oh, and it's also easier to interact with classmates and make friends in your classroom. Um, since you're all there in person, you could just talk to them, ask questions, and they'll help you out. So, yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question. Can students use their meal tickets only in the school dining halls, or can it be used at certain restaurants?
Yeah, so the dining hall or like it's just one option for meal swipes. However, our meal plans count towards a lot of retail chain foods. I remember when I first came to Temple, I used a lot of my meal swipes on like places like Wingstop and Chick-fil-A. It was a bit dangerous considering the number of like the amount of fast food I was eating. But if the student like gets sick of a certain option, they can always have more options to choose from outside of the dining hall or just retail chains out there.
Yeah, so the meal swipes work at the Johnson and Hardwick Dining Hall, the Morgan North Dining Hall, which is fast food options like Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, Freshens, and then also at the Student Center, which is more fast food options, Chick-fil-A, BurgerFi, Wingstop, Halal Shack, etc. And then Johnson and Hardwick is more like buffet style. There's like stalls and it's just one swipe to get in and then it's all you can eat. The fast food options are your meal swipes have like dollar equivalency. So like during lunch, a meal swipe is equivalent to $10.50. So however much you order decides how many meal swipes you have to use. And then there's a few other select locations on campus. So in Pearson, there's a there's a Panera Bread, which is also, meal swipes equal money. Yeah, but if you get Grubhub and put in that you're a Temple student, it'll show all the places on campus that you can use your meal swipes at. And most of them you can order ahead on Grubhub so that it's ready when you get there.
Hey, great, thank you. Next question. Are there job opportunities on campus?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So there are a lot of job opportunities on campus, and you can look them up by looking up Temple open jobs. I literally did yesterday, and then you go you log in with Temple credential and you can see all the current listings, all the jobs that you can apply to. They have all the requirements, all the information. And as far as I know, if you're an international student, you can work up to 20 hours a week on campus. But if you're not an international student, I feel like there are like more hours that are available to you.
Yeah, also a resource that I want to recommend if you're looking for jobs, internships, or other opportunities. There's a mobile app. It's called Handshake. I believe it also works on the laptops, but it's a very useful resource to sort of see opportunities that are on campus as well as off campus, because they have a lot of filters. If you're searching for like a paid internship or an unpaid internship, you can selectively search for that as well. But yeah, all the app asks you for is a copy of your resume, a little bit of an introduction about yourself so that employers can reach out to you, but you can also reach out to employers and message them.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next, final question. What's your last piece of advice for parents and family members as they transition to having their student at Temple?
I would take this question. I would say, me personally, try to take like a step back. Not too much of a step back where you're like non-existent, but at least try to let your student like try to experience college for themselves, learn different things, make mistakes and learn to grow from them. But also if they need help, obviously still be there to lend a giving hand and yeah.
I would say just make sure to communicate with your student and make sure to listen to them. This college is a very pivotal point in a person's life, and we're all in college once. So highly recommend just making sure the student feels comfortable in their own space and just listen to them, be able to accommodate for them. And like what Aaron said, highly recommend taking a step back, but not too much of a step back, but just being able to be there for them in very critical moments of their life. But please let them try to like grow as a person. College is a very transformative process.
Yeah, just so I know what Aaron Gabe said for all the international friends. I know it can feel like really stressful to like let your student go all across the world to a brand new country, but like they've probably never been before. But I would say for that, Temple has all the resources to make your student experience amazing, great, safe, and comfortable. I would say call your students, talk to them, send them messages, send them pictures, but like yeah, as like Gabe and Aaron said, like don't do too much. Like college is a great point in life where you can like learn who you are as a person, meeting people, be more independent, make your own first big decisions in life. And I feel like you should just let them do them.
Okay, thank you all. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. Thank you so much to our panelists for joining us. In addition, we'll post the recording to this session in the Orientation Hub and the Parent and Family Experience portal shortly for your reference. And of course, our virtual Parent and Family Orientation is continuing, so please visit the Hub to register for any listed upcoming webinars and to see recordings of this webinar and previous ones. If you have any questions regarding OWL team leaders or campus life, please feel free to reach out to New Student and Family Programs. Lastly, we will be sending you a survey shortly to ask how today's session has helped you as you prepare for your student to attend Temple in the fall. Please take a few minutes to let us know your thoughts. Thank you again to our panelists and to you all for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your day.